Welcome everybody to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with my brothers Damon and Jaquari Armstrong. Um, well, we welcome you to our conversational podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we do. We talk about, men around our age and I guess upbringing.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
What up, Cuzzo?
Hey
What up,
man, how
brothers?
y'all doing, man? All right now, man.
Hey, man, who interrupted my? I was on the road too, but look,
Your monologue.
yeah, look. So basically, what we're about conversation. Tonight's guest is Kevin Johnson. A friend of the family, brother, cousin, our guy.
Yes,
Welcome to you.
Appreciate it.
Welcome to you, Cuzzo. Welcome, brother.
All right,
Okay,
to the
so
family, to the cousins.
yeah, no doubt. Let me do a little bit of house cleaning.
To the
This is
Strongs.
Strong Perspective Podcast. We have a YouTube channel by the same name. Please go and like, share, and subscribe. You know what I mean? Because this is a movement. Hop on board. Like don't be one of what they call bandwagoneer. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Come with us right away. Because
Yes, sir.
we're about to change everything. It's about conversation. This is what we do. So let's go ahead and just do this thing. Damon, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. Recovering from the COVID thing, man. That was a life-changing experience, but your boy here. And looking forward to this podcast.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you something. I know it was serious for you, right? Because you ever see those commercials? Remember the early infomercials where it was a serious subject and the people on there they was talking about whatever they're talking about, then they had turtlenecks on. I know that COVID was serious for you, brother, for real.
Yes, sir.
I got to turn the neck on to keep that salve on my neck and keep it, not getting stiff.
No doubt. Jaquari, how you doing today, bro?
I'm good, man. Today was uneventful, man. I ain't stepping nobody else's shit. Shout out to my brother Damon, man, for wearing his Carl Thomas suit.
And I wish I never met her. I wish I never met her.
Yeah.
I wish I never met her.
Kev, how you doing today, brother?
I'm blessed, man. I'm really blessed, man. I'm glad to be able to join on with y'all, man. I really am, and everything is good. It's about 4:30 out here on the West Coast, 4:45 actually on the West Coast. So I'm chilling.
Damn.
Okay. I tell you, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go. Hey, Jaquari and Damon, we're gonna go old school. In the beginning. What we're going to do is, since this is Kevin's first time, what we're going to do is we want Kevin to break down who he is, and his comparison with the as being a West Coast / Midwest kid. You know what I'm saying? Kev, what that mean is, this talk about, whatever you want to talk about, but, break it down who you are, and shout out to the people you love. And then we'll go from there.
Okay, 10 for a while. Hello, everybody. I'm Kevin Johnson, born and raised in Ypsilanti, Michigan. I'm around about, mid-50s right about now. Child of the late 60s, early 70s. I was born and raised in Ypsilanti, Michigan for the first 15 years of my life. Then, due to unfortunate circumstances, I moved to the West Coast. Around about, I don't know, it was 83, 84. What year you graduate?
82. So it's about what?
It was
Yeah.
82 then because it was right there. It was an 82 then because it was right before you right before you was about to go off to school. That's what your pops had told me one time or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, so you was actually in school, I believe. Yeah, I think he was actually in school. So it was around that 82, 83, came out to, California. And it was vastly different than growing up in, Ypsilanti, Michigan, and for a long time, I thought, Ipsy was a big, big city. It took me a long time to realize Ipsy ain't that big, baby. We only got 2 X's. We only got Michigan Ave and we got Huron. But, growing up, it was everything to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could never tell. I knew we always had Detroit and,
Yeah.
Ann Arbor and other, surrounding, outlining cities. But, it was a major eye opener, coming out here, different people. So, and I tell people, I said, growing up in Michigan, you was either black or white. I know you could have been Chinese, but you was still black or white. You could have been
Yeah.
Arab, but you was still black or white. You know what I mean? So that's how everything was kind of, sort of like defined. Now, come out here, so much more diversity: black, white, Chinese, Asian, Pacific Island, African. Everything. We got everything out here. I mean, you name it. I mean, everything you got. I mean, California is like a microcosm of the world. Seemed like to me. Everything
Okay.
that you got in the world, you got here, and so. Making that adjustment, it was hard initially. They had the gang culture growing up. That was different. You know what I mean? It was, like I said, it was always black or white. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
Ipsy and Arbor. You know what I mean? Or Ipsy will run. So to take on those sort of rivalries was different. I never got off into the gang culture. Like I said, just being grounded. Growing up, like I said, with y'all and family and my dad and everything like that. So it was like I said, it was a big, a big difference, a big eye opener, and thank God I made it through, man. It was crazy back then, you know what I mean? But I think
Oh yeah.
just coming from a strong family, still, having that strong, sense of my pops and stuff like that, knowing right from wrong, growing up in the church, you know what I mean? Things like that
Yeah.
helped shape me, and got me over. So here I am.
Okay. 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 I'm just Jaquari, Damon. You guys got anything?
Hey man, when you first moved down there, I know you mentioned the gangs and everything, man. And I don't want to take the light off you or anything, man. But how did you navigate that, man? Because it's I imagine. I mean, the only culture that this country basically identifies with is California gang culture. For the most part. So how did you navigate that, trying to figure out where you was and where where it was cool to go to and where not to go to and everything?
You didn't know, cuz you really didn't know. You really didn't know. Initially coming out here, you just saw that. First off, they dress differently, they talk differently, they slang was different than ours. So I mean, they talking about boning out, and we talking about, I'm about to book up.
Yeah, I'm
They're
just
like, book
leaving.
up, book up. What you mean book up? And I'm talking about bone out. Oh yeah, we about to jet out. I'm like, what's that? So it took me a while to get accustomed to the slang. We came from scolding. They talking about bagging.
Bagging.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and all these. So it was just those little nuances and things like that. But to your point, though, like I said, I never really chose a side. I was cool with everybody, so I had friends on both sides of the spectrum, and where I lived at, it was mostly say like a blood thing. But then you went to school with people that, and they had a busing situation out here. So I was in like the San Fernando Valley, and they bus people from LA, and that was primarily black people. So, you had a lot of
Okay.
black people coming in, they would have to catch the buses all the way out there to the valley. And, they brought, their side. And, like I said, you just did what you could. I never, I got into squabbles. And that's what they called it, too. They call them squabs. You don't want to squab? I'm like, squab? What's that? Next, I got hit him trying to hit him. That's what squab means. Okay, let me get into it. All right, and, man, so it was a trip. And not having, like backup, you know what I mean? I always had Keith, Keith was going to at least have Fluke. And hell, your ass, Corey, shit, you was younger, but you was still a big joker, you know what I mean?
That's what it was. Yeah, when you was here, I was like, shit, I was following behind you and shit. As a matter of
I
fact,
understand that. I understand that.
as a matter of fact, when you moved back, you remember I dropped all my friends, man. I was
See?
I'm with my cousin, man. So
See, that's how it was. And that's, like I said, being family, so not having that, perspective, was a lot on my own. So, I had to learn, like I said, but just navigate. I was never really I mean, I could be hot headed, you know what I mean? But I guess in those situations, you don't have a cool head, you know what I mean? It was a cool head
Yeah.
had to prevail, you know. But I've been
Yeah.
in places where was been gang violence, or you in the mall. I remember being in the Panorama Mall before. It's a city in California called Panorama City, and I met Florida from Good Times, just rolling it one time as a kid.
Okay.
She came up to me, and I was maybe dressed kind of certain way. She was talking to me like I worked there. She's like, "Oh, sorry, what time you guys close?" I'm looking like, "You Florida Evans." And she's like, yeah, I know that. I know that. But anyway, what time does the mall close? I'm like, but you Florida, damn. I mean, it was like, wow, it was an
Yeah.
incredible moment in my life. It was like a childhood icon, and she was right there in my face, you know what I mean? But going back to that same mall, it was the time when you and I went there. Say I got on like this. And a guy who was a red guy, he came over and was like, "Hey man," trying to sweat me, giving me a hard time regarding, my outfit. And I was like, "But look at that dude over there. He's like a white guy." I said, "He got on red." And he told me, "No, they ain't in it. This us." And I thought to myself, "Wait a minute, that don't make no sense. If you against the color red, then whoever rocking the red, you should be going up to him and saying, 'Well, you on my head.'" And that's why I kind of, I kind of said, "Oh no, this is something that's kind of, it's like a bit of a program." But they're serious about it though. I mean, they're very, very,
Oh,
very.
no doubt.
You wouldn't even think that they're serious about it like that, man. But they are. And then to your point, Keith, it has grown so big where, like I said, I'm out there in Raleigh, and you got people saying, "I'm a blood," or "I'm a
I don't
crip."
know
I'm
what
like,
happened to my
"What?
cigarette.
Get out of here, man!" But they even serious about it, even Raleigh, and I'm sure it's all it's in touch with tentacles all throughout the country, if in fact, and if not, in fact, around the world.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you mentioned Raleigh. Kevin, how long were you living down here in Raleigh, Kevin?
I love there. I got there. I hit bricks in Raleigh in that summer of '06, and I was there till about 2013. So good
Okay.
6 7 years. About seven
Okay.
years. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was unique. It was a unique experience. I mean, I met some of the best people in my life down there. I mean, because
Yeah.
I mean, you just meet some real good people down there. I'm still friends with a lot of those people.
Oh yeah.
Probably a lot closer with them than I mean, probably some of my Ypsilanti friends or whatever. Because just the I don't know, the down homeness of it all. Some real
Yeah.
cool people down there. Real cool people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's why I asked, because you gotta think about it. You grew up in the Midwest and the
Yeah,
West Coast, and then migrated to the South. So
yeah,
there kind of some extremes. You know what I mean? Because North
definitely,
Carolina
definitely.
is definitely the South. You know what I'm saying? So
No doubt
uh,
about that. No doubt about that. I have some I have some stories to tell you out there. It just seemed like on the surface everything seems kind of equal or regular. But then I think if you scratch a little bit beneath that surface, you'll start to see some of the old wounds or some of the old sides or some of that. That's still present down there. And
Yeah.
but it's still a good place. So I mean, it's a great family place. It's a great place to raise a family. The parks and recreation. It's a community based area. And that I can really appreciate about it. But they still got their little incidents. And I thought, my family, some of my family, in fact, Keith, one of my little cousins, well, actually my nephew, he had a real big problem down there. And I'm sure you heard about that. That was right over there in Riverside, where he had that was my nephew actually, my ex-wife's side, where he had a situation where I guess he lured the other guy into the woods or something behind over there in the Perry Creek area. He lured him in the
yeah,
woods,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
murdered
yeah.
him, and then he ended up murdering
Yes.
himself. That's my little nephew. Yes, yes. And I think that's about a year ago.
Wow.
And so
I'm sorry to hear about
yeah.
that, bro.
I
Sorry to hear
appreciate
about that.
that, cousin. Me too, because that little kid, like I said, I left in 2012. He was about 8 or 9 years old or whatever. He was a great little kid. I mean, I remember taking him out to Wilmington Beach one time. He told me, "Uncle Kevin, that's the best day of my life." I mean, that made me feel so good because I could remember saying that to my uncle and, doing stuff like that. And only for him to, later on get tattoos all over his face. He's smoking weed and, wilding all out. And next thing you know, he didn't. Not only took his life, but he took another young man's life, and it was really heartbreaking.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
said all to say, even though it was a family environment, you could still lose some of the family. It still got some of those same elements, even smaller towns and stuff like that. You don't escape it, no matter where you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell. I'm gonna tell you what, man. When I moved down there, I had to get real used to every other street being named Plantation, doggone,
Yeah, that's well. You're
and,
right.
and Bojangles Chicken.
Whew.
Look, it took me a minute to even go there. I was like, what the fuck
Yeah,
is
yeah,
this?
exactly. Yeah, you're right. It does.
But I
You know,
mean,
Plantation Point, Jones Sausage Road, all that stuff is country. You're right. It took
yeah,
a while
yeah,
to, really get to, Biscuitville. We going to
all that,
Biscuitville,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Waffle House, all of that kind of
And it's
stuff.
like it really shined the light on southern culture.
Indeed,
You know what I
indeed.
mean. And I was feeling one way about it, man. And then when I went down there and lived and was actually immersed in this, in the culture or whatever, I
Sure.
understood a little better about what it was, and the brothers and the sisters, it was different. It was
Hmm.
different, because they actually spoke, you
Man,
know.
to your point, okay, so I got down there in '06, so then, but I think about '07, '08. I know definitely by '08, I was missing LA like a mug, like a mug. So I came out here just, get away from the family, come out and see the homies. And to your point, Jacoy, I mean, the moment I got to LAX, and then I got out of LAX and had to go rent my car. So my partner took me over to the car place. First off, it was only 2 people servicing about 100 people. So I was already, first thing that hit me straight in the face was the customer service. I'm like, God damn. I mean, what are the people that in here? And then another thing was that hit me where I saw a bro. And, his eye caught my eye caught his eye. So we looking at each other. So, I went to say, what's up or whatever. How you doing, bro? And he just stared right through me. And then that's when that's right at that exact point right there. Said, oh yeah, KJ, you gotta get back on your Cali mode. You ain't in North Carolina no more, dog. You gotta get back in
Yeah,
Cali mode where, nigga, I don't know you.
exactly,
What's up?
exactly.
I mean, you tell. I mean, so it was like instantly, like I said, coming from the south, everybody friendly, bro, this or waving. And we walking down the street. My son's dad, do we know those people? I'm like, no, we just in the south. We just wave.
Nope.
Everybody this way. How y'all doing? So that's what I'm
Hmm.
saying. On the surface out there, everything seemed cool, and and it was a great, great. But like I said, underneath, you still have some of the same politics and things like that.
It
But
got to the point.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it got to the point, man. Where I had to address Keith about it. He said, "Man, look, you see a black man coming this way, he see you coming that way. He speak to you, let you know everything's all right back that way.
Yeah, yeah,
It's cool. It's cool to move on. All
yeah.
right, that's cool. Shit, I rock with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I
Like that's what the old head laid down to me. Like,
yeah.
look, if they nodding, that means that, especially down here in the South, they nod at you. That means you could go that way. You
Yeah.
could, but if you see somebody shaking their head no, then don't go. Don't
Don't go.
go.
Don't you do
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Don't you do it.
And if something happened, the next thing you see on the news is dude like, I told him, I tried to tell him.
Yep, exactly. No, you're right.
yeah,
You're right. No, you're right.
yeah,
I say this about the South. I mean, you could be at the dang on grocery store like Keith and my son said they met the other day or whatever, and you could be a total stranger, and y'all strike up a conversation over heirloom tomatoes versus Romana tomatoes versus tomatoes in the line, and next thing you know, you sitting at their dinner table. You didn't know how you got there. Now you sitting at the dinner table, man.
Yeah.
And you contrast that versus Los Angeles. You could be working with somebody for 15 years, and you're like, man, where Damon at today? Oh, his son graduated, so he had to go to the graduation. You'd be like, he got a son?
You got a
He
son?
got a son? And you've been working with this man for 15. So it's not the same
yeah,
closeness. It's not the same. It's not the
yeah.
same as it is out here because there's so many people. And somebody put that on me one time. They say you can see a person and never see them for the rest of your life. They still live in the same city. And that's
Mhm.
a big deal coming, like I said, from Ypsilanti. Of course, you go see somebody, or somebody who knows somebody, or they know my folks, or we go to the same church, or
You
I
you
used to
cut
mess with that girl.
your cousins indirectly. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
exactly. No, exactly,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
you was family. You know what I mean? So it's a big contrast. You know what I mean? But you adjusted to it. Now I kind of like some of the being anonymous a little bit. You know what I mean? Now everybody knows who you are. You know what I mean? So that's one good thing.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I
You know what I mean?
I want to let you guys know that I'm I'm in transit, so when my camera goes out, it's because y'all ain't gonna be able to see me because I'm gonna be on the road. So just to let you
Gotcha.
know, and y'all like looking at each other, right? You know what I
I
mean?
like
Y'all don't have to see my beautiful face.
I like look
Ah.
I like looking at me.
Look, with me in Beijing. You know what I mean? Just in case people like, hey, he's looking different. I'm looking younger. You know. Um, talk about your siblings, Kev. You know what I
Okay.
mean? You know,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
you know, because like I said, you got to shout them out, bro. You got to shout them.
Oh,
That we always encourage. Shout your mom, your pops. Shout them out, man. Call them
oh
by name.
man.
You know what
Oh,
I'm
okay,
saying?
what's you, man? Please, Mama Peggy, that's my heart. You know, my daddy, Sonny Boy, S.C. Johnson. Boy, oh boy, don't get me started on him now. Don't y'all get me started now.
No
It'll be
worries, no worries.
a bittersweet. I'll be crying and I'll be laughing. And you know, I got my baby. You know, got my baby bro Jamar. He my baby bro, not big bro. Now that nigga that turned into my big bro. Now you know Lord have mercy. Yes, Lord. He's my big bro, but that's my baby bro for about 4 years. And I got my other older brothers and sisters, my other brothers, siblings. I got my big sister Nurzan, and I got a brother Kamal and Kenneth, and me. And then can't forget Leslie either. You know, my stepsister Leslie. You know, I hate to say step now. I just say my sister Leslie. You know, I love her, and you know, she near and dear to my heart. And that was about the extent of our immediate family. You know, I got a host of cousins and aunts and uncles, and you know, all of y'all on other
Yeah.
sides I've learned. But you know, y'all was you know, the biggest ones coming out. You know, as far as you know, in Michigan. You know, Stacy Chauncey, Tony Chauncey, Regina
Oh yeah.
Johnson. You know, Tina Johnson.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
man. So I mean, the family means a lot. You know, even though, and it was really hard. You know, growing up in that environment, immersed in it. In fact, I mean, not just growing up in it, but immersed in it. You know, and then, you know, not having it. You know what I mean? Not having those same, you know, guidelines. I'm talking about extended cousins, John Wesley and them. You know, all the way
Yeah.
up in Alpha
Yeah.
Ridge, all the cousins. You know, no matter where you went, you had somebody around. You know what I mean?
Oh
So you
yeah.
know,
Oh
that
yeah.
was family. And like I said, if not, they knew family. So you know, you had to stay on your P's and Q's. You
You
know,
had to.
in terms of that. You know, because word could get back. You know, and we came back. You know, we came up in the days of respect. And you
Oh yeah.
know, it's a lot different than it is now, boy. They don't have the same respect. And I thought, you know, because growing up, you know, I remember Kevin, you got to say the big piece of chicken for your daddy. Your daddy ain't work. You got to say that big piece of chicken. And no matter how much we used to eye the big piece of chicken, you might have picked off of it. And I did pick off of it too, daddy, a couple times. You know what I mean? But you know, the dad had a lot of respect. And now, when I finally got to be the dad and all like that, and I'm thinking, okay, the big piece of chicken. They said, Kevin, don't you know the kids got to eat? You gotta let the kids eat. I said, what the hell is this shit? Now, when I was a little kid, they told me we had to wait till daddy came home and daddy got the big piece and you only get a leg and a half a wing and you couldn't touch that thigh. You definitely couldn't touch that breast. Boy, I'll kill you, you know. And when it became my turn, the world had changed, man. The world had changed a bit. So, you know, that was kind of messed up, man. You know, the
He
dads don't get
said
to say it.
the
The
world had
world changed.
changed.
Yeah, man, the dads don't get to say respect anymore. They like, Shh, Kevin, be quiet. Wait, be quiet. What'd you say, Khalil? You don't want to eat what? Khalil says he don't want broccoli. He wants. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? He don't want something. Could you imagine we coming home and Grandma Megan and made spaghetti or sloppy joes or whatever she made? And I'm talking about, oh, we don't want this. We want Grandma carry your ass up to somewhere else to go get us something to eat. She's like, Kevin, something wrong with you, boy? You better go eat, and you better send your other sister some too. I said, oh my god. So you know,
Hey
she
man,
grew up
you
with that
know what?
respect, man.
I remember one time, man. I think you come by the house after school for some reason, right? And grandma just made some biscuits, and you was standing at the stove tearing them motherfuckers up,
Man.
and I was in the living room minding my business, whistling, being spoke, right? And then she came out the room, and you shot out the back door, and she went in there and looked at the biscuits, and she said, "LaQuia, you been in here eating these biscuits?"
So
I was
I'm
like,
glad I put it on your ass, LaQuara.
I
I'm
said,
glad I
"This
put it on you.
this motherfucker that just did me. I don't believe this shit."
I had to, man. I had to.
I couldn't even
I
tell.
had to.
Look, that shit was so slick. I couldn't even tell. I was like, "Fuck that." I'm sorry.
I,
Like,
I had to. I had to, man. Grandma had that food hot on the stove, and I told you I was her favorite. Don't eat all the food up from John. John got to eat too, so y'all don't eat all the food. And you, like I said, it'd be hard, man, because you be hungry. We was growing young men, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt about that.
but
You know.
for real though, man, when y'all moved, man, I mean, it was already it was already just a handful of boy cousins around the same age, man. But
Oh
when
man,
y'all moved, man, it wasn't nobody around, man.
man, I know.
I was by myself. I was like, fuck, bro. Like,
We felt the same way, and then things have changed
yeah,
because
in California,
again,
hell yeah.
yeah, and then you didn't have the father figure no more. So then things get more loosey goosey. I know Jamar started, so I started stepping up like, "Hey, nigga, do you hear what she said to do?" Because I remember Daddy wasn't playing. We couldn't, what you
Mm.
know. And so when things started getting more loosey goosey, especially for him, in terms of we supposed to be doing A, B, and C. So I sort of like try to step in on time to become the enforcer and things like that, or the father figure. And I remember one time in particular, Mom was like, "Hey, you ain't his daddy and this, that, and the other." And, then we had me and Jamar ended up locking horns. And and for the most part, I always had the upper hand on him or whatever. And I know this particular time he was trying to, get some good back on me. But anyway, we was locked up in the living room. My mom came in there with a broom, and she was like, "Get off of it!" She was beating me in the back. Get off of it. For the first, we was tough back then, Fluke. For the first 10 of them, I'm like, that ain't nothing. But probably by the time she got to 16, 17, 21. I had to release that little nigga. I had to let his ass go. I had to let him go. Mama won. She's like, "Get off of him, get off of him," blah, blah, blah. So it was just, like I said, coming from there with, like I said, all that, that whole family structure or that whole environment to not having it was definitely hard. And then also the difference in, like my siblings and how they were raised and versus how I was raised. It was a couple times. It was not really say clashes, but just some contrast, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They
Oh
used
yeah.
to they used to laying around watching movies all day, and I'm like, well, we got to, we had to rake and do this and do that and go to football practice. Then we might have caught the movie at the end, but you just don't sit around all day on a Saturday because then that's when VCR started coming out, and you can go to the store and go to Blockbuster before Blockbuster, the local VCR store, and get. So you said they watch a movie from 8 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock at night. I'm like, yeah, we ain't did shit. And then, that kind of stuff started like, man, this is a trip to me. I never even got to sit around and just watch TV like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, like I said, it definitely has changed. I mean, we all on FaceTime, whatever we doing right now. So this is a beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I think when it really and truly, because like I said, we're all around the same age, man. You know what I mean? So I think our view of the world is a lot different than the younger generation. When I say
Definitely.
younger, a couple decades younger than us. You feel
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
for
Because
sure.
you know you just described that formal upbringing, what people named as home training.
Yeah.
You feel me? It was home training, and I do that with my boys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, I get on their nerves, but I'm like, look, there is a way that you act because we're supposed to give our children that foundation.
You have to.
That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna say is our job, but it is our responsibility.
Yeah.
Because I look at it this way. I and it was a funny thing. Me personally, I do not want to be contradictory. So if I tell my son, get over there and clean that shit up, and he don't never see me clean up, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. No,
It's
you're
kind of
right.
it's kind of like falling on deaf ear. You know what I mean?
And then too, because we came from a generation where they told us it was almost not quite the opposite, but just do as I say, not as I do. You just do as
Oh
I
yeah,
tell
yeah,
your
yeah,
ass to do. You can't just do as I say. I mean, as I do, you do as I say. So you're right now, these generation, they want to see you doing it, or they, otherwise they got some, back talk or something to say, or you're not
yeah.
authentic, or you're not 100, or however they want to say it. You know what I mean? But I grew up where hell they told us don't smoke, even though this nigga had a cigarette right in his mouth. Though I don't want
Absolutely,
to smoke it.
absolutely.
I
I
definitely
ne-
don't want your ass smoking, and you better not be smoking at all. You hear me, boy? You better not ever get me. Let me catch you smoking. As soon as he from left, I try to slide the cigarette butt up and talk about, I'm gonna smoke anyway, nigga. Who you think you talking to?
yeah. Look, I never seen John Armstrong wash a dish or cut a blade of grass in my life, and
See,
it didn't matter that I didn't see that shit. Once I was told to do it, and that was it.
that was
Hey
it.
man, look, hey man, look, real quick. three vehicles, man, that had made a major influence in my whole entire life,
Talk
and
about
it went in this order. It was the goddamn Tracker, it was Fluky's Delta 88, and it was Keith's Trooper. Man, I fucked up so much in that damn Tracker, man. Hey, look, the first time I think, yeah, the first time my first concert, I went to that damn. We was in that damn Tracker, man. It was X Clan.
I still talk about it, boy. I lost my voice that night, boy.
Man,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
out there.
yeah.
I was
We
like,
had a
shit,
great
man.
time, man. We had a great time.
This is what it's like to be grown, folks. Get the fuck
Yeah,
out of
we
here.
had
I'm
fun
out
that
here.
night.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was like, look, my parents. It was like what 11:30. I'm like, Mom, y'all gonna kill me. I got to get home. But then I was like, fuck it.
It was later than that because I called your mom. I had to finagle her, boy. I had to finagle auntie. I had to, man. I was like, man, we in the city. It's only about 11, 12. Ain't no way we gonna make it home on time. So
I'm
let me
saying,
call her
man.
finagle. We didn't get home to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning,
Oh man,
boy.
that shit was wild, man. It
We
was
had a great time,
wild.
man. It was one
Yeah,
of
man.
that was indelible still in my mind, young man. I mean, I still remember that very day.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, so let me ask you this, Kev. Is there something, and I think we all go through it, but is there something that you wish you would have paid more attention to as you was growing up?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, no doubt. I mean, we could always redo things. I mean, of course, I think in school, I think if you would just giving yourself more of a chance. I never really knew that I was smart, as I don't want to say it in a conceited manner, but as I am, what I mean, because in school sometimes you like you're not paying attention, you distracted, you got a lot of other things going on, whether it be social, economic issues, or just social issues, attracted by the girl, trying to fit in, trying to hang with the Joneses or the Swansons, or whoever it may be, or whatever it
Yeah,
is. So I
yeah,
just wish that I would have probably given myself, some, better chance in terms of school and my schooling, in terms of maybe paying closer attention. And one of the things I always say is that, I mean, hell, if we would have known, I mean, we knew sports was big growing up. I mean, all of us played sports, and our dads wanted us to be in it, and blah blah blah. But hell, I think if we would have known, them niggas would have known, them pops and them would have had some more foresight where sports was gonna go. Man, I think we all probably, probably would, put a lot more dedication into that thing because now I mean, it's beyond belief as far as what sports is, and
hmm
even on the high school level, junior high level, hell, you could just be in the second grade. They already got your ass ranked already. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
I think that that would have been, But then again, like I said, going back to our pops and stuff, they had to raise a family, and like I said, it all has come kind of full circle for me, in terms of having a family, going through divorce, all that kind of stuff because it's tough being a man. I mean, I know it's cliche, but it's tough being us in this world, man. They don't make it easy. I mean, and
absolutely.
then the conflict that you can have with your lady, and trying to rear the children and navigate this thing that they call life. It can be tough, man. So now looking back on my parents, my aunties, and my uncles, man, ain't nothing but love. Even though it was tough, like you said, it was tough love. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna
Tough
tell you.
love. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you what, man. You say you would have concentrated on your You say you would have concentrated on your education more, man. But I gotta tell
Yep.
you, man. I was aware of my blackness
Hmm.
before you moved back. But then, when you started exposing me to certain things, man, the first time I heard the minister, I was with you. The
Yeah,
first time,
man.
the first time I read the final call, had one in my hands, it was with you.
Yeah, man.
The first time that I heard the true name of Africa, it was with you.
Yeah, man. All that.
So I
We was
find
learning together.
that was definitely a time around the time that I found my blackness, my black identity, man, and he was a huge part of that,
Man, I appreciate that, man. I
very
mean, it
huge
was
part of that.
as they say, all praises due to Allah, dog. All praise because it was it was each one teaching one back then. We was all just learning. And like I said, going to what you spoke about a few minutes ago about the X Clan. I mean, just the other what's it last weekend we was all hanging out and I told the radio play X Clan radio. So all we listened to was the old school, some of that type of positive type of hip hop,
Yeah,
and because like I said, the things have changed so much where it's the glorification of violence and criminality. And like I said, that was a big
Yeah.
contrast to what we grew up on. We wasn't raised to be criminals. My aunts or uncles or my dad and cousins and stuff. And, and not to say everybody was, squeaky clean, but if you was veering off the wrong path, the family put you right back on the right path. That's how it always was. We always had that, sense of, goodness. You know what I mean? Like I said, I know we got some of those that may have went astray. Hell, I went astray. If it wasn't for the grace of God, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I could one step here, one step there, might not even be here. You know what I mean? That's just life. You know what I mean? And that's God's blessings. But you know what I mean? The family always kind of kept us on the straight and narrow. Between that and going to church and all like that really centered you. You know what I mean? So even though I might have veered off like, oh, I know I ain't supposed to be out here roguing and doing this, I might have done a little something, but I knew when to fall back, or not to flow too far. So they said, well, let's go rob. I'm like, oh, dog, I'm cool on that. I got to get home. I got to get home. My family them going to get me. I got to get back home, man. I got to go by. And then when to separate, when to separate, whether, from the peer pressure, whether they was going to call you, whatever they was going to call you or do whatever, I was a lot more afraid of what was going to happen at home. Then whatever them cats could call me or pressure me into doing, you know what I mean? Especially if it was something I didn't want to do. Now, when we talk about stuff I wanted to do, that's a different subject, you know what I mean? I did that, so. But yeah, I really appreciate, growing up the way that we did, even though, like I said, it was real humble, real simple, nothing to it. I mean, we all got to sit around and watch The Price is Right. I mean, I never knew that. I never really knew how much The Price is Right meant to grandma until it was when my girlfriends came up. She's like, man, your grandma like The Price is Right, don't you? And that was the first time, again, the light bulb cut on. So now I'm conscientious of it. Like, she do like the goddamn Price is Right, huh? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was interesting in that sense. But, that humble beginning, watching Bonanza, we all got to sit and watch the same old TV show. Morton Downey Jr. Remember Morton Downey Jr. smoking all them goddamn cigarettes and stuff, watching all that kind of stuff.
Hell,
Just growing up.
All my children.
All of that.
Yeah.
All of that. And it was just, it was just simple and humble, you know what I mean? Sitting around on the couch and, all of that, man. So I really appreciate it. And when it wasn't there no more, it definitely was, tough. Definitely tough, man.
I'm gonna tell you that just to give you a little bit. I'm getting ready to turn this camera off, guys, but
all right,
I gotta drive. But just
man,
to give you a little bit of context, it was funny. Jaquari brought that up about you and the minister, right?
Yeah.
Because our dad used to listen to him like every Sunday on the radio, right?
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I went away to school, right?
Uh-huh.
This probably right before you left, Ken.
Okay.
I went away to school, you had curly locks, right? You had curly locks because you grow your hair out that it's curly and shit, right?
Yeah.
And then when I came back in the summer, when you started, studying it, and shit like that, right? You was bald headed, shaved, bald, clean, Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
And look, and was on it. I was sitting there because we were sitting in our living room, and I'm looking. I said, "Okay, Kev, I see what you're doing, bro. I see what you're doing." You know what I mean?
Man, we was all trying to find our path, but you're right, man. As far as me cutting that hair, I found out a lot. Cause boy, that was my whole identity, boy. That was my whole identity, boy. My whole identity was wrapped up in that, boy. My whole identity was wrapped up in that. So yeah, it was a lot, you know what I mean? But like I said, you started coming into, and really a lot of what it was is I always kind of, I guess, probably felt some sort of way deep down in your heart. But then when you started hearing somebody who could speak to that those energies or that pain or to that, like it's talking, it was almost sometimes with somebody, you in a room full of people and it seemed like they talking just like in church sometimes where they talking directly just to you know what I mean? So
Oh yeah. Hey, what's going on, cousin Malika?
Malika, what's happening, family?
What's going on?
Love you, baby. Love you.
Yeah, she's right though. She made that exactly. We always had to sit down and watch TV together. And to her point, I know, and she really comes to me when you become, I don't know, when you start doing a little bit better. Because when you broke and poor, you ain't got no choice. But we only got one TV, and everybody got to pile in the room together. We all got to sit down and eat together. But once you start to get a little bit more money, I noticed when I got down there to Carolina, my old lady was down there watching Dancing with the Stars. My son in his room playing PlayStation. Mother, daughter in the other room watching SpongeBob, and I'm in the other room watching NFL Network. You know what I mean? So we all splintered and we all,
Yeah, yeah,
apart from one another, and we're all in our own little worlds. You know what I mean? So yeah, I could definitely attest to that. That it's not the same as far as just being together, and
yeah.
that was important. Even though we got on each other's nerves, or we might not have want to watch Bananas, or we already seen this episode of Price is Right, Grandma, or whatever, but it was still, and then like I said, the hierarchy it ruled. It doesn't matter what you wanted to watch. If Uncle John would have watched this, or if I just said this, that's what it was, man. What you mean you would have come in turn? And don't let them go to basket. You actually the
Yeah,
turn.
yeah,
Well, you might as well run out that
yeah.
back door, like Ja'Cory said. You better run out that back door, boy, because it's gonna be a wrap for your ass.
So,
And there wasn't nothing wrong with it either, man. There wasn't nothing wrong with it. That's how it was.
do you still
So
keep in touch
yeah,
with a lot of people
this
in
is all
Ypsilanti?
three.
Oh yeah. I was just in Ypsilanti back in end of September, October. So yeah, I was there, but I mostly went to go see Daddy. I've seen him a couple of times. My dad is getting up in age, so I wanted to, spend some time with him because y'all know how crazy he is on that dang on the Facebook thing, man. That guy, that guy got a problem, man. I'm like, man, I work at night, y'all. I'm out here because right now, like I said, I'm 3 hours behind y'all in terms of time, and
Yeah.
so I work at night, so I'm out at like midnight, which is about 3 o'clock in the morning, y'all time. And man, sometimes about 1 o'clock in the morning, which is only 4 o'clock, I'm getting a text message for Daddy. And I'm like, I text him back, like, how are you even up right now, man? How are you even, who is even up right now, man? At 4 o'clock in the morning. And then,
Yeah.
okay, I can remember, okay, I can go back to Grandma Maggie. Okay, she might have been up at 4:30 in the morning. But I know by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, she already back in the bedroom, nighttime. Not my daddy. I mean, I get a text from 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, well, damn. If he was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, how is he still up sending me all this information? So yeah, I saw him back in October. And it was so funny, y'all, because he says, yeah, see, I deals with about 63 people. I was like, 63 people?
63
He said,
people.
that's what he told me, man. He said all that information. He just said, I send it out until they tell me don't send it out to them no more, and this, that, and the other. I said, Daddy, and still, hell, I got something on my phone right now. He was texting me this morning. I said, man, I don't even have a chance to even check all the stuff that he be sending me. You know what I mean? Like, I'll check it tomorrow. I'll check that later on when I get a chance. Before I know, he didn't send me 4 more texts. And so,
Yeah.
Mama Benita was like, yeah, Esther, you got to give him a chance to check it. You don't even give him a chance. I ain't gonna say that. I just found me some old information. And so, he said he trying to bless the whole family. That's just blessing us, I guess. So,
Yeah.
but to your
Like,
point, Ja'Cory, yeah, I stay in touch with everybody out there. I still see Vic and Shannon, all of them best I can, man. I was just out there in October. And I'll probably be out there now if it wasn't so cold. I ain't used to that cold. I can't take that cold, man.
I can't do it no more, man. I can't do it no more.
Drive in it. I can't drive it. I ain't got no winter wear. It's probably about 60 something, maybe 6. I'm sitting downstairs in the garage. It's about
Push
60
gas for
something,
me,
and that's
Keith.
cold.
Yeah. Hey man,
And
look,
that's cold.
I'm in Virginia, man. It was like
You know what?
yesterday morning. It was 21 degrees.
Invite him.
All three of them.
I felt nostalgic like a motherfucker. I was like, this is what I ran away from, man.
Exactly. Yeah, I know it's going down in the. I know it's going down in the south right now.
Wait a
Yeah,
second.
man.
Yeah, I was
No,
checking.
they're already in
checking
there.
out something.
You mentioned Bam and Shannon, man. Oh man, them dudes.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, Bam and Victor. My bad.
They're already in there.
Them dudes, man. Look, I used to
Hey,
drop
can y'all hear me? I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
all
we
right.
can hear you.
I used to drop y'all names like a motherfucker.
Yeah, man. Well, that's the same thing. That's the same thing I did with your brothers. We all did that. That's the same thing I did with your brothers. I mean, Fluke and Keith. That's all of that. So that's all. Part for the chorus, man. Part for the chorus. And them cats are still the same.
I got a question. I got a question for whoever wants to answer it. Hopefully all three of y'all, and I'll give my opinion about it. To me, I'm optimistic when it comes to how everybody. There's always been the generation gap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, these young folks ain't listening to us and this, that, and the other. But right now, it seems like it's even worse because it's being thrown at us through social media, through everything that the young kids are not listening, right? What is your opinion about it? Do you think that's true? Do you think that, Do you think it's true that they're not listening, or is does it go both ways? We're not listening to them at the same time. Ja'Cory, I'll let you go first.
I mean, it's. I don't want to necessarily make technology the bad guy, but I mean, we couldn't Google a whole lot of shit. We had to sit around and actually learn some things from our parents. I mean, the young folks nowadays, they don't really have that need. And as far as us listening to them, I mean, everything our parents told us, we didn't pay heed to at the time. We had to experience, and that's kind of like how the circle is going now. We as old heads and parents, man, we got to take that step back and understand that we had the same journey. I used to think the most foolish notion in the world is when you have a source of information that's telling you the right moves to make, but you just have to experience things, man. I always thought that was foolish, but that's the way of the world.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I understand.
Uh, that
Kevin,
speaks to the old adage of they grandma told us that the stove was hot. And then some of us can learn a lesson or just can believe grandma. If they say grandma tell you that the stove is hot, you believe that you don't want to touch the stove. But then there's some of us that have to actually go experience touching the stove. Say, oh damn, she's right, it is hot. And some of us said, okay, it was hot the first time, but maybe and you got to touch it a few times before you actually learn some of those lessons. You know what I mean? So to your point about experiencing it, but then it's some of those and some of us, and some of not should say us particularly, but some of us in the world who can just listen and they've gone they ran on it. I've met a lot of people who live in their dreams. So, in other words, they wanted to be actor, that's what they've been. You wanted to be a computer scientist, that's what you're doing, and you living out your dreams versus some of us just got to do what we got to do, you know what I mean? So I can really appreciate that, in terms of, listening and, that's why I spoke to, I'm not blaming myself because again, I'm totally cool where I'm at, you know what I mean? And I think the way you define your success is how you define it, you know what I mean? But Keith, to answer your question, I definitely think there's it's more than just a generation gap. It's been, exacerbated by or accelerated through social media. We don't know nothing about that. I mean, even to now, I'm
yeah,
not really on it. You know what I mean? I know you can get on it, but I'm not really on it. In terms of my friends, I'm getting my identity from that. Peer pressure from that. I mean, one of my wife is telling me that, or no, one of her nephews who is our age, his son, them, he told me they gang banging and on YouTube and stuff like that. So I don't know what that's like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Where
yeah,
you a bitch ass nigga away from, I'm in out here in Cali, y'all all the way out there. And if I ever see y'all, I mean, we got that kind of animosity, that kind of beef, and all that type of fuel, and also a platform for you to be able to air this kind of thing out. You know what I mean? So it's definitely, I think, a big generation gap. And as far as us listening to them, like you said, Jacob, we didn't come from an age where our parents had to listen to us. I mean, they heard us, but they didn't have to listen to us. You know what I mean? In terms of, I heard you say you wanted to go to, Briarwood, but your ass ain't going to Briarwood. You going to Arborland. That's where we going. That's what we gonna
yeah,
do, and this is what you gonna get. You know what I mean? Honest, I heard what you said that you wanted Nikes, but you getting these grocery store shoes or whatever I can afford to get you. That's how it's gonna be, and there wasn't no shame. There wasn't no, well, I'm gonna tear them up or make you feel bad because guess what? They didn't feel bad. You know what I mean? They didn't feel bad because you didn't. You felt bad because I get to school and everybody else is, fresh out and hot. Adidas was got big. That's why I'm wearing it now. I can finally afford Adidas now. It ain't nothing. I still wear Adidas. I can finally get
yeah,
Adidas. Now. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And so I'm Adidas down. And they looking at me like, hey, what's wrong with this old dude? I'm like, hey, my Adidas, boy, that's what's wrong with me. But
yeah.
yeah,
but when we wanted stuff, it wasn't really about that. So, but today's youth is way different. You feel embedded or rather indebted to your child, and you're negotiating with them, and it's because like I said, the world has just changed so much, and it's
yeah,
unfortunate.
yeah.
Both good
So
and bad, both good and bad. You know what I mean? It's good that we can do this, but it's bad in other terms. Like I said, the backside of them, they showing themselves. You know what I mean? What's going on in the world, man? Come on, man.
Yeah.
What's going on? You know what I mean? Like I said, and that's not something that you, as a normal person, you might even think about. Like, oh, dang, that is something you could do. Like, Snapchat me that. Let me see that. You're like, wait a minute. I got a daughter up here. What is you talking about? I thought you were just on the phone. You know what I mean? Like a regular conversation like we did, rapping and slow dragging all night. No, you doing other stuff. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it cuts both ways. It really does. But I think it's really cutting us really in the wrong way. That's why it's promoted so much.
Okay. Okay. Flo, you want to chime in, bro?
I can't hear you, Fluke.
I think you muted, Flo.
Yeah, there you go.
I think we can hear you
As
now.
it pertains to the young people, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
We can hear you.
yeah.
Okay. As it pertains to the young people now, man, they got voices out there that coincide with what they're feeling and what they think, and and it's hard or difficult to differentiate between that element that teaches you something.
Carson,
Me by that.
let's get those headphones.
Is he sounding muffled to you guys?
A little bit. But really, what it is, kids, is your background noise. It's your noise. So as much as you can, Keith, you need to mute yourself because you're the most feedback coming in.
You talking about
can
the
y'all hear
road?
me?
You talking about the road dog? I got you.
Yeah,
Man.
I can hear you. I mean, as far as until you want to come in, that way because yours is the one coming in the most. I mean, Fluke was a little bit whatever. Like to say, I can hear somebody saying Carson. That's your wife. Is that your wife saying Carson?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Fluke. Go ahead, man.
Okay.
We got you.
No, my point is, man, it's to do the comfortable thing, man, is to listen to people that's agreeable to you, And I think that's what most people don't know how to do. Young people don't know how to do, man, is look at the things that's contrasted what they think they want to believe in or whatever. So they listen to, what I'm saying? They like these MAGA motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I just only want to hear this aspect of life, and this is what I think, and I don't want to hear anything that's going to, change my mind or give me an idea to think outside of myself. I think that's the thing that our family taught us, man, is to think outside of yourself, and they allowed you to make your mistakes. And then our elders pointed that shit out to us, But at the same time, they allowed us to make that mistake. Whereas, when you look at it in its totality, what makes Donald Trump think that the shit that he talking about is how real life is? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of delusional people out there, and you have to understand it from that aspect, man. This dude is irrational. You know what I'm saying? And because people are in their feelings and they on some emotional shit, they basically echo the same dumb shit he talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then you got rational people who was raised like us looking back and saying, man, this world is crazy. Why are they listening to this fool? Because we went through the process of right and wrong, understanding. You know what I'm saying? Hey, just because you're passionate about anything don't mean that you're right about it. If that makes sense, that's how I have to look at it, man. Because my kids can argue with me about politics all day. They could argue with me about politics all day, but if it's not rational thinking, not swayed or skewed to my side of things, but just rational where you can come to a consensus with each other, it's like, what the hell are we talking about, man? Make America great again. What the fuck does that mean to a motherfucker like me that's almost 58 years old? That don't mean shit. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Where the hell did that rationalize in my mind? where I can listen to you and your rhetoric and say, well, I can kind of understand where you're coming from. No, my understanding is that you a bigot, racist motherfucker.
Yeah, and
You know,
it's shrouded
so
in a lot of words.
Yeah.
right, there's no neutrality at it. Where do the young people listen to this shit be like, I don't, I'm just trying to be normal, and y'all telling me my normalcy doesn't coincide with what I'm dealing with in this society. So it's convoluted and it's all fucked up and it don't make sense. So what do me, Kevin, Corey, and Keith do, man? We talk about Maggie Johnson. You know what I'm saying? And what did Maggie Johnson do? Make sure every morning before we left the house, we had a hot goddamn meal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That basic thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You decide based on her confidence in how she raised her sons,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and she holds them to a certain standard in order to teach us how all four of us are men.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I
We
think it all.
men. And being a man, we have to make a decision on how to be an example for the next man.
That
You
part.
know, I don't know if that makes sense, man, but that's how I stay sane, man. Because I'm like, man, the shit that I be hearing and things that people be arguing and talking about the most, I'm like, what the hell did I got to do with anything, man?
Hmm. True that.
I
It
think it
has
also.
nothing to do with anything, man. Because at the end of the damn day, when you dealing with social media stuff and and immature people, everybody gonna lose in that, man, because nobody can identify with it unless it's dealing with their frustration and anger. Am I making sense?
Definitely.
Yeah. I
Definitely.
think it. I think it also speaks to comfort on two fronts, man. Number one, our parents didn't care if we were uncomfortable, and number two, me personally, I said, if I was ever going to be responsible for raising a child, then that child wouldn't have to go through certain things. And me adopting that attitude, you know, it kind of took away. It kind of took away her sense of working for something. Not saying that not saying that my daughter hasn't worked hard, but me and my wife tried to provide certain things for her when she was going to school. I say it all the time, man. I only had 3 pair of jeans in school. At any given year, I wasn't gonna put my
Mm-hmm.
child through that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when so when I come in the house and I see a $200 jacket on the floor, I got my ass on my shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
But we
know,
kind of created that a bit. You're right, though. You're right. We
absolutely.
did.
Yeah.
And I experienced the same thing because you're right. You don't want them to go. So okay. I mean, I got more than spank. So now you grow up and say, well, I'm not going to spank them. You know what I mean? But that's only to your own detriment or to their detriment as well. You know what I mean? And to you say, your point, you only had 3 pairs of jeans. So you want to make sure they got at least 5 or 10. But then now the flip side is that I can't wear that, Dad. I can't be that way. So, like
Mm-hmm.
I said, it kind of cuts a bit both ways. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think that speaks to that song by J. Cole when he talk about there's no life that's better than mine, you know what I mean, or better than yours. He said, no life that's better than yours. And he said, sometimes, he said, I think being broke is better. And I know it's hard to see, because he said, it's beauty in the struggle, and ugliness in success, because now I
Mm-hmm.
got it. And, Keith want me to come on the call. I'm like, anyway, dog, I ain't got time. I ain't got no time for this bullshit, man. I got, my followers. I got to handle. I got 800 million followers behind me that want to see, you know what I mean? Or I didn't try to turn this into something else because of all of that, that grandiose and, us being bigger than what we. So that's what that social media is like. It's like television almost. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like TV. It's another extension of, television. Like you your own star. You know what I mean? Like they got internet stars and YouTube people and stuff like that. You're like, well, who is this and what is that? Oh, this person's important. He got 1 million followers. I'm like, oh, what are they following to? What does that even mean? What
You
is a
said.
like? What do you mean I like it? I mean, I'm following you where? What does that even mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of, trippy. And one of the biggest things I ever really noticed about it is that, my new wife, she's like a private person. Like he almost even said she could even come down the stairs and hear me like, "You talking about me? What you saying about me?" You know, she's that type of person. You know what I mean? Where don't keep my name out your mouth. Don't put my business out there. Why you talking about me? Telling your people about me? You know, maybe that's how she was, but she's that sort of, kind of guarded type of person. But what I noticed with social media is that she's guarded, in person, but then you could be on the internet expressing all kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, dang, you guarded in. One of the things they can get you to do is like, okay, if you come up to you, Jacory, say, hey, man, how much money you got in your pocket? What? I don't know you. How much do you make a year? What you asking me all these personal questions for? But what social media does, it gets you encouraged to tell everything. Like, I'm over here. Look at me. I'm big balling. I got it. Look at our house. Look where we are right now. We in the best hotel in the world, y'all. Look where I'm at right now, Flu. Look how we doing it now. Shut up. That's what social media sort
Yeah.
of encourages, whereas before you'd be more private, more discreet, you know what I mean, more to yourself and stuff. But now that really encourages you to, hey, nigga, oh, well, I guess you didn't know, I guess you know how big I was, did you, boo? You know what I mean? You doing all this kind of crazy stuff on the internet. Now I'm like, dang, he got his whole junk out on the internet. What's wrong?
Right.
I mean, I see girls with
Hey,
her whole stuff out. I'm like, what about if her dad, her uncles, her brother? This is out there forever. Even when you 60, they still got you popping coochie on the internet. Like the hell's wrong with you?
let, let,
That shit
let,
don't that
let,
shit don't never leave the cloud, man.
It don't never
Hey,
leave.
hey, look, let me just say this, man. You know what I mean? Just real quick. Speaking from the generational gap, and I know that was a while ago, is having accountability. See, we grew up, we had accountability. We was accountable to our parents, and we was accountable to ourselves.
Yeah.
Meaning that a lot of times you have to understand you can't be out here free and not understand there's a cost to it. Speaking to what you guys are saying there, it's a cost to everything, man. So raising
yeah.
raising my son, I hold them accountable to me and their mother, and I hold myself accountable to them.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Because see, that's the thing. Like I can sit here and my son, my youngest, like, yo, dad, you too old, you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He might say something like that, right?
Yep.
I'm like, okay, explain it to me. Now that's that accountability. Explain to me what you mean. Why? Because
Yep.
a lot of times these kids don't understand that everything that they doing is recycled from what we did.
Ain't
You know
nothing
what
new
I
under
mean?
the sun. That's what they say.
It's the truth. Maybe the technology is different. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but it's still nothing new even in terms of that. You know what I mean? You want to run, go tell that no matter what. They've been wanting to run, go tell that since the beginning of the time. You know what I mean? It's just another way of doing it. You know what I mean? Just like what you could say before, the telephone didn't even exist. So you had telegrams and all this other kind of stuff. Now that's changed. We grew up, we didn't have microwaves and stuff and things like that, but that don't take away from the stove. I mean, technology is technology, but that don't take away from barbecuing. That don't take away from, what we always had and always done is just new and improved ways. So now I got a smoker that's an electric pellet smoker, but that don't take away from what how they had to do it and all like that. The technology makes it a bit easier and whatnot, but man, ain't nothing really new under the sun. And like you said, to your point though, Keith, that's good. Like to make them explain it so that we can understand it better, and then they can, as they explain it, they can sound how silly they sound in terms of being just too old and not the game. Because I get that sometimes too. Like, oh, you just an old head. You know what I mean? And I'm like, but
I watched the
respect is always respect. Will never go out of style. You know what I mean? Respect, they never. You ain't never too old or too young for that. And so I get a lot. I drive for a living, on a ride share. So, I get a young man, say Keith or Carson's age or whatever, they get in the car and I'm like, good morning, like, what's up? I'm like, man, it's hard for us to even say good morning to each other. So we locked in these characters 24/7. You know what I mean? Some of us it's a character and you locked it in, 24/7 where you can't even be respectful or, and that just don't make no sense, because everybody want to be respected no matter what. Everybody.
Hey, I watched this video, man, where they went to the old school motherfucker Chuck D. And they was talking like, man, you hear these rappers now, man, talking, begging their shit up, talking about what they got and how much money they got and how the chains and all that stuff or whatever. He's like, yeah, and it's always a cat sitting around plotting on that shit.
You
And
ain't
they
right,
coming to get it.
man.
So this
Yeah.
one rapper listened to what man, I wish a motherfucker would come and get this. And Chuck said they coming to get it, man. Now don't set yourself up. You know, you on social media, you blowing your shit up.
Yeah.
All the money man was on me up, man. All the motherfuckers coming at me and shit.
Hmm. Yeah. That's exactly what
And all
happened.
Chuck said,
Yeah. You wondering why? Like I said,
somebody,
you put all your business out there. Yeah, we're gonna be in Paris for the next month, y'all, and we're gonna be doing it big in Paris. I'm going to
oh,
Eiffel Tower. I'm going to the Chateau. I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be doing everything. A whole month I'm gonna be gone, y'all. And you get back, and you wonder why your house is robbed. You wonder why they broke into your crib. They knew how long you was gonna be gone for. You told them every damn thing. I said, oh my god, social media's a mess. I said, you owe to tell your social security and everything, dog. Damn, y'all tripping.
Hey, yo,
social media thing come up. Yeah, man, you know, I just came up, bro. I'm this good. All three of y'all gonna be like, hey man, what you doing, man?
Exactly.
What are you doing? Do I have to come there and be by your side because you putting us all in danger, talking about what you got?
Yeah, man, that's something else.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I said,
First thing, we're gonna start talking about, hey man, why the hell is you talking about you got chains and you got money and you got a goddamn a damn safe behind a picture that's
yeah.
loaded?
I'm gonna
What
show
the
y'all
hell
the.
you
I'm
now
gonna show
now
y'all the combination.
you know what I'm saying? Now I got to be there for you because you can't keep your mouth closed.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens, man.
You know,
Yeah.
hey, Kevin,
that's the world we live in, man.
do you still
Yes, sir.
You know.
you still read as much as you used to?
Man, no, I don't. I don't. You know what? It's because of social media and all these little memes and blurbs, and you get in such a short, such it's hard to maintain my concentration. The last book I read, and it was earlier this year, so it was in 23 and 23. It was a book about the NBA in the 70s, the 70 NBA stars, about how the drug culture was kind of taking over and how the black athletes started, shine and it's a really interesting book. And like I said, the reason why I read that because it kept my attention. I was able to kind of go through it. Something you're really interested. So say you're interested in, I don't know, Ali or whatever. So you pick up the book and you can't put it down. Most of the books in terms of the knowledge now, like I said, I pick it up and read it for a couple weeks, and then you're putting it back down. And then too, I read up the tablets now. It's not the same books as before.
Yeah,
Everything is
yeah.
digital, and it's a lot harder. Like I said, to maintain your concentration. You know what I mean? So I still study, but not as much, as I
Mhm.
used to be honest.
Yeah,
And I really wish it.
I like to have a hard copy of my of the book in my actual hand, man.
Yeah,
You see a bookshelf behind me, man.
I do. Yeah,
Trying to have my little library, man.
that's great.
The reason why I asked, man, is because back in the day, you turned me on to some things, and we always had a family that read books, man.
Of course.
I didn't realize how much when I first heard it, I don't remember who said it, but if you want to hide something, put it in the book. Or if you want to hide
Yeah,
something from black people, put it
you're
in the
right.
book.
That's so
You
true,
know,
man. That's
and then
true.
when I seen the contrast of how much our family read as opposed to other families, man, I'm like, this everything you need to know is basically in your library, man.
It is. It is. It is.
You
It's
just
so
you
true.
just you just got to put in the work to go find it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No. To your point, that is so true. I mean, and what I don't do in reading, I make up in. I listen to people who do read. So in other words, I listen to a lot of this podcast, and my man does a lot of reading. That's no substitute for my reading, but I like to at least listen to smart people who do read. You know what I mean? Who are up
Yeah.
on it. And one of the things that he does, he reads because, like you said, you said it. They hide everything in their books, and they write about this stuff a lot. You know what I mean? More than what we even talking about it, they write about it. So all the subjects of say slavery, Jim Crowism, magnetism, all the stuff that we see now, and all the stuff we see then, they talking about it a lot and writing about it. It's just like you said, it just here from us because why? It ain't on the football game. It ain't on CNN. But it's out there. You know what I mean? The information is definitely there. And one of the cats, like I said, I deal with a lot. He deals with a lot of professor, college professors. So he'll read their material and then get at them. He'll bring them onto his show like this, and really get at them, and point out the racism and things like that, because like I said, it's all in books. Everything that they did to us and everything that they hide to us. It was one time I had read something, Jaquari, one time, and it really blew me away, and it still blows me away to this very day. That you think about, okay, Annapolis, Maryland, way up there above where you are, Kivo, up there, Pittsburgh area, up around there, but further east, but all the way from there, and they marched them all the way from Annapolis, Maryland, all the way down to the state South Carolina. And I'm talking about the slave ancestors and stuff. Made them walk, man, and all like that, through the snow and all that. But man, I come to find out they didn't have on shoes, man. And that really, and when I think about it, man, sometimes it get me all kind of messed up. Really, I'm like, damn, how the fuck you got a motherfucker walking from Maryland? That's all. I mean, first of all, that's unfathomable to even have to walk that way. But then you ain't got on shoes. You in the snow, the sleet, the swamp, do this. I'm like, man, these some brutal motherfuckers, man. And so we don't understand the brutality, because that ain't something that you're gonna see or even know or anything. And I never knew that kind of detail, and it never dawned on me or even hit me till I read it. You know what I mean? I was like, man, I had to put the book down. Man, I'm serious.
Mm.
I had to. My God, like what kind of, I'm sitting there thinking, like, what the fuck is you talking about, man? From here, so I walk all the way to Michigan, and I ain't got on no shoes on my feet. And come on, man, just for other people's profit. You know what I mean? And they still profited. And then, like I said, you get people say, hey, man, when I was way back then, what you still talking about it now? And you let that go and blah, blah, blah. But then the people who still benefited from them, they not letting it go. They're not saying, oh, you know what? Our people was wrong. Y'all was right. We going to give y'all half. I mean, they ain't even trying to say, oh, no. They said, we MAGA, dog. We making America great again, boy. So it's still there, man. You know what I mean? It might not be, like I said, but it's still there. You know what I mean? And like I said, reading really helps you understand that. So, yeah, yes.
You'd be absolutely dumbfounded, man, to see, exactly what parts of corporate America benefited from slavery from the onset, and they're still fucking benefiting from it.
Yeah.
They do nothing but change the name slightly or whatever, or hell, if they change the name, man, a lot of that shit was, hell, banks dealing with stocks and slavery and cotton and
Yeah,
shit.
all the
And
schools have
yeah.
Georgetown, Harvard, all the schools. I mean, do you know that dude who owns FedEx? His name is Fred Smith. His family, they started off in the Carolinas, and that's how they got their fortune, was through, the illegal selling of our ancestors and brutal kidnapping of our ancestors and whatnot. Then they parlayed that over into Memphis, and they parlayed that over to other stuff, and now it eventually become FedEx. So basically, FedEx again is our company, because you got that off the backs of our people. So they still benefiting to this very day, and blah blah blah. So and like I said, banks, schools, all the wealth, because again, you imagine if somebody showed up to your house, man, with nothing. I mean, you a bum upon knocking on the door. Can I stay at your house? And next thing you know, you got the house, and you the bum. You ain't got nothing, and that's kind of makes it look like what happened. They ain't had nothing, and now you got everything. So how do you explain that without, quote unquote, fucking a lot of motherfuckers up? You know what I mean? Quote unquote. In the name of the Lord too, though. In the name of Jesus. And you hate to say it
Let,
that way. And I don't mean to step on no toes, but that's the name that they use, and that's
Hey,
what they still,
let
hey,
me pose this question. Let me pose this question to you guys.
Let me switch my earphones on.
The things that you're talking about, right? Why does it feel? Why does it seem like the different you say you listen to different podcasts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it feel like it's adversarial when somebody's bringing you information? And I'm talking about the bringer of the information and also the receiver of the information, where it could be valid points and valid information. But why do we, and I'm speaking generally now, in general terms, why do we receive it in an adversarial way? You guys understand what I mean by that? Or do you
Sure,
need me
sure.
to go
Yeah,
into a little more?
no, I understand. I
Okay,
think, man. I,
go ahead.
I think because up to this point, man, all the information we've received, as opposed to the new information, is so contradictory. I mean, when you structured your life around 2 plus 2 equaling 4, and then you find out something different, man, you feel you fight it, Because if I let you shake this belief system, man, and I really haven't had to work for this belief system. This is what the world has given us. So it's standard. It's standard information. It's supposed to be standard information. But when when you find out that Pluto ain't a fucking planet, your whole shit is right. You're like, what the fuck is there now?
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, because it contradicts what you already been taught, or some of your, some of the popular notions. So that's why I think it becomes a little adversarial. And then, like I said, I spoke about earlier about things being, on the surface, everything is cool. We can go to Kmart, well, not Kmart no more, of course, but you can go to Walmart or Myers or whatever, and seemingly everything is equal and everything's the same. But then, like I said, going back and digging a little bit deeper, it's not equal and it's not the same. You know what I mean? Them greenbacks that we spending, they don't represent us. They don't got our faces on them. And then when people say that's a long time ago, then I'm like, well, how come they still got these old dudes on the paper then like that? You know what I mean? So it all makes a big difference. I mean, rather it all matters. Even though it's old, and that's why it becomes adversarial, because when somebody's giving you that sort of information, it kind of challenges what's being thrown at you by the media or what's thrown at you by society itself. Society saying everything is cool, and it's really you. That's not the problem. I mean, it's you, Kevin. You just said that you should have done better in your education, so really, Kevin, it was you. Instead of saying, well, hell, the same way you giving everybody else a leg up and a hand up and all like that, maybe help us out and give us a leg up and a hand up. But you won't really get that, because then now you just want a handout. You don't really want to work for it. You don't really want to do like we did. And it's like, wow. So you can let people run a real big game on you. Just to make you, and then at the end of the day, you walk around like, oh, damn, I am fucked up. You right. And then, it can just continue down that downward spiral. You know what I mean? And before you know, you're starting to act that way. Or like I say, you can kind of wake up. So I just think that's why things become adversarial, even from the person who's receiving it. Because again, it's challenging you. And even if sometimes if you trying to give it, because I'm trying to give information, like you said, and now I'm saying like I'm being controversial because you said some shit like Pluto don't exist. Who are you? You ain't no scientist, Doug. How you? I mean, so they start to get, like, hey. How dare you say that the Earth is flat, Kyrie Irving? How dare you? You know what I mean?
I was just about to mention that. Man. I mean, for me to talk.
Before you answer, before you answer that, Ja'Cory, just real quick, is it because we stop having our willingness to learn?
Yeah.
Because we learned the one thing that we push back on, right? Then look, what do we just settle in? We're good. Now I don't want to hear nothing else. You feel what I'm saying? But go ahead and finish, Ja'Cory. I just wanted to add
that. It was just a blurb, man. I ain't had nothing.
No, Keith. What you just say, Keith? How did you say it again?
Is it the fact that either our willingness to learn was taken away from us, right? Or we're comfortable with it. Like, yo, blue is blue. Fuck what you saying. You know what I'm saying? Even though there's different shades of blue.
I was gonna say, what about indigo? What about all this other stuff? What
about all of those things. You know what I mean? So, that's why I even spoke on the adversarial part about it, is the fact that because I was that way, in a sense, where you're not gonna tell me, Kanye West, you're not gonna tell me nothing, because is it because we finally get into our comfort zone? You know what I mean? From our end, that's our comfort zone. Like, yo, I'm not trying to learn nothing about this anymore because I'm good with it, right? Even though that person who's trying to communicate with you might be right. You know what I'm saying? The chances of him or her being right is very high, but you're like, no. You know what I'm saying? And the examples I'm giving you, like religion, history, those things. Go ahead, Ken.
No, okay. But no, I think you made an excellent point about learning, because I think sometimes, we went to school and, maybe thought K through 12, or maybe K through undergrad, or maybe K through grad, or maybe, all that. And that's when learning stopped. A lot of people might think that way, but like I said, those who've been, taught better is that, you got to learn from the cradle to the grave. And, one of the things I hear old timers say all the time is that they ask him, how you doing? And Cat Daddy, Mr. Fuller, Neither Fuller's way over 90. Somehow he still say, I'm still learning. So, it's that sort of thing. But when you still think that you got all of this knowledge, you know everything, then that makes it tough, to accept new information. Like I said, new information knocks out old information any day of the week. You know what I mean? Or the new way knocks out the old way any day of the week. Like I said, we used to use, but now we got the microwave, boom, 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 boom. And that's easy. All you got to do is just, you're like, oh, dang, I didn't know you could do all of this and all of that, you know what I mean? So with that new information, and it's always, I guess maybe changing, but then like they say, what did the French teach us? The more things change, the more things stay the same, So there's certain constant. Go ahead.
No, my thing is, man, just realizing the fact that not everybody's gonna end at the finish line with you, man.
That's true too. Oh my God, that's true.
So it's
Yeah.
how much
It's gonna be.
how much are you willing to invest, in your own self growth?
Yeah.
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 We never stop growing, bro. See, that
Yeah.
we never stop growing. We never stop learning. We
Yeah.
might slow.
Yeah.
We might slow in thinking, slow in the process, slow in the way we move, but we never stop learning. You know what I mean? Just getting back to the flat earther situation, right? Okay, I'm gonna listen to you. Why? Why do we give a fuck? And I'm not saying in a hostile way. No, you want to debate me about what's round and what's flat. Why? Tell me why. What is it? Because see, the thing about it is, I wasn't interested enough to go, because stuff that I'm definitely interested in, I go see their point. I go, okay, let me Google why you say this. You feel what I'm saying? But when it came to the flat Earth thing, what's the point? Is it a blurb? Is it something that you want to say, or are you telling me that we have unlimited amount of resources because the Earth is flat? Just giving you an example.
Okay.
Like, yo, tell me.
What's the purpose behind that?
Do you? Hey, Kev, Jabari, are you trying to sound clever?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
That's it. To that point, Keith.
Yeah,
No. To that point, what you just said about sounding clever. I mean, today we live in a world where everybody wants to be the smartest person, or you the smartest person in the room. I mean, I done way more Google searches than you done. Well, I was Google before there was a Google, and I think to your point, Jaquan, what you said, if you are a very well-read person, I mean, that's first off. I mean, you don't even need Google on a lot of this stuff, because you can go put it up from a book, because of the Google and got acquired all that stuff from books, and being able to compile information. But I just think that that's what I'm kind of on.
Yeah, it's the fish tank analogy, man. I mean,
Look at me.
I heard recently, man. If you put a fish in the tank, whatever size it is, it'll grow to fit the size of the tank.
Wow.
So
wow.
Once you outgrown your tank, then you need to switch that water.
Yeah.
I've always had, not because I wanted to be smarter than anybody else, I always had the need to learn, because
I agree on that.
I have probably being the oldest and having that responsibility put on me. I've always wanted to solve the problem if I could, or at least know how to solve the problem. So when somebody comes to me and say, well, look, you've been doing this wrong for years. Okay, let me hear it. Why have I been doing it wrong? You see what I'm saying? Not, hey, man, what you mean I've been doing it wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? Let me see if what you're doing is insulting me, instead of trying to teach me. You feel what I'm saying? Because see, a lot of times what we do is we mash those two together, the insult and the teaching.
Yeah.
And most likely, and tell me what you guys think about this. Most likely is because we don't like the person. We don't like that person's energy. You feel what I'm saying? And it's mostly, and this is just my question to you guys. Do you think we as a community and the folks out there that's looking at us right now, please comment. Do you think as a community we will listen to a white face before we listen to a black face?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
When it comes to, and I'll let you go, Kevin. I want to throw this little caveat in there. When it comes to the good, because the bad, we're gonna listen to the black folks.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and
That's a good observation.
opinion. That's my view. You feel what I'm saying? That's my view. We'll listen to the black folks when it comes to the negative thing about life. You know what I'm saying? We'll listen to that.
Yeah.
Right? Real.
Yep.
But if somebody comes to you, hey, look, this can change your life. You know what I mean? Change your life. This is what to do to change your life. We listen, or a wife and say the same thing, and we're willing to do it.
True. I mean, I think that was evidenced by the whole pandemic thing. With the coronavirus shot and things like that. No matter what side of the equation you landed on, you know what I mean. I think a lot of that was kind of evident with that in terms of here's something new, and now they're directing people to go out and do certain things to avoid being sick. And like I said, you saw people acting on that information. I think had say the Nation of Islam kind of gave that information. I don't want to be so extreme with that, you know what I mean. But just say it just came from say even the black church. It may not be received or perceived the same exact way, but I definitely think that we still suffer from that in our that the white man's ice is colder than ours. I definitely think that we definitely suffer from that still to this very day. I don't know why, but we do. In terms of, and I think that was a good observation, Keith, when you said that when it comes to good news, because you're right. If it comes from bad news, then maybe you might accept the black person's perspective, or you think, hey, maybe these the other people may not know, the whites per se may not know exactly. You know what I mean? But I think what you said, yeah, whenever it's a bad information, we might accept that quicker. But if it's good information, life changing information, you would definitely accept that from somebody. I think that's opposite our skin color before we accept it from our own. That's just my perspective.
And I think it all kind of boils down to different learning patterns and styles or whatever, man. Because I personally, I got to hear both sides of the argument, man. I got to hear both sides of the argument, and that serves me, man, because I like to play devil's advocate because that's how I learn a lot of shit.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree. You do that. That is, you have to think on both sides of the, or the coin or the equation. That way, you can, be able to, that's what deduction is. Be able to come to a good, conclusive answer. But yeah, but I definitely agree with that. Those statement that we accept it from others. Then, especially if it comes in, a form of a white face or something like that. I mean, yeah, we definitely accept that information. And I thought that was a great observation, especially if it's good news. You know what I mean? I think that's probably over about 80 or 90%.
But just
question. Go ahead.
Just to put it for me, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to vilify us or anything, man. But I've never had a white dude punch me in the face.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I never had a white dude pull a pistol on me.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So how do we address that? As much as I love us, I understand. I understand that in certain situations we could be dangerous to each other.
Oh, of course. And in those moments, I think that is a frightening situation. You know what I mean? Being confronted either way, like you said.
I feel that, Ja'Cory, but let me ask you a question. Is it because of proximity? Because I've had white men try to harm me.
I heard that
They
too.
didn't get a chance to punch me in the face, but they tried,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
it was and a lot of it had to do with proximity. Is
Of
it
course.
because of proximity when it comes to us, Ja'Cory? That's my question to you and Kevin.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Let me jump in real quick, Smoke. I think so. Yeah, that it is because of proximity, because of how you dealing with them, how you socialize and things like that. So that will give them greater access. I think I mean, but also at the same time, you could be at the mall, at the workplace, or any other place around, quote unquote white people, and like he said, you don't have that same thing happening where they have opportunities as well. But I think proximity definitely plays a part.
It plays a major part, but it's just one it's one of the key factors. I mean, rarely do you hear well, you hear about it, white on white crime, but the reasons for
Oh, it
white on
happens.
white crime,
That's big
yeah,
though. Yes, it happens.
but the reasons, for me, the reasons for white on white crime and the reasons for black on black crime, can be astronomically different, man.
Hmm.
Is I've never, I've really never heard. You almost never hear until recently, white dudes killing each other over colors.
Oh yeah, no,
You know,
no, not over colors, not over colors. No,
yeah,
no,
so
I get that. I get that. I feel, and just to speak to what you're saying, it's not really reported like that unless it's some movie sensationalization when it comes to white on white crime. But me, I was privy to it for 30 years.
yeah,
You,
yeah,
you
yeah.
understand what I'm saying to you?
And and
So
and,
I
and,
understand.
and,
I,
and you
I,
know, that happens way more with them than it does with us. You know that, just like you said, you
yeah,
know
and
it.
I'm gonna tell you something. It was a coworker who's a good friend of mine, right? And I had been doing. I probably had 10 years on him when it comes to experience.
Sure.
And he and I got into a major. He's a black man. Got into a major debate, right? And what that debate was, he said, "I'm so tired of it always being ours, us, right?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I get that. I understand." And I said, "It's the proximity of it, right?" He
Hmm.
said, "No, man, it's just, it's what we see on the news." Bro, yes, I need you to understand because this man is a very intelligent guy, but he feeds into it also. The media, the only thing that the media gives us, right? And
Hmm.
I said to him, this where we got into the debate. I said, "Do you not understand that, yes, proximity affects me, right, in my job, but do you understand that it's a slight, when it came to black folks, dealing with them in the law enforcement thing, and white folks, it is 60, I said it's 60-40, with the 40 being the white folks. Oh man, no, that's too high." Wait a minute, brother.
mm,
You telling me who actually did it and who actually paid attention to it. It's not too high because I patrolled the whole county, not just the county where it was the majority of us. And it took him a minute for that to sink in. My picture window and my experience was bigger than yours because I patrolled the entire county. You see what I'm saying, guys? It's like
yeah,
understanding what your picture window is. You know, I understand your how you feel, so I respect it. So I'm not gonna tell you you wrong. You know what I mean? But let me tell you what I see. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mm,
understand something. How many times, and I said this to him, how many times the folks that you deal with are repeat offenders? How many times have you seen them several times when if you arrest them for drugs? How many times are they your frequent flyers? before you put that tag as our community has this problem. Give me those statistics about frequent flyers and all these things, and let's plug in everything. You feel me? And the only thing about it, I'm not gonna step. I'm gonna step on my soapbox, but let me just say this: when it comes to our communities, and this is my humble opinion because I've seen it, there are when they say this neighborhood is horrible. It's been my experience, and my experience ain't the end all be all, but it's been my experience where it's not the entire neighborhood. It is Young Street and Brown Street, the two streets in that neighborhood. You feel me? But guess what? I'm not going to such and such neighborhood. But really and truly, there are regular people that live on the other streets other than Brown Street and the other street. And you know that's an optimistic way of thinking things now. Come on, dog. I'm being optimistic. You know why? Because it keeps me sane and it
Mm-hmm.
gives me hope
Mm-hmm.
for my sons. And I teach them, look, don't be stupid. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Don't be
Yes,
stupid,
sir.
but understand that there is another part of life that you can experience just
Yeah.
by not going on Brown Street. All right, last question
Absolutely.
for the day.
You're breaking up a little bit, cousin.
Uh,
You're breaking up a little
okay,
bit.
I'm headed into.
So you going in
How
and out.
about
So we
now?
got a little bit. Last we heard you were saying that you was talking to your son and letting them know don't go on those certain streets.
Okay, now this last question of the day. Did y'all get that?
So repeat the question.
Okay. What would be one thing? Now I know it's many layers to it. I just want to know what sticks out to you. What would be one thing if you could change things? What would be the one thing when it comes to our community? We'll
Man,
start
that's
with you,
easy for
Kevin.
me. That's easy for me, man. You
Okay.
know what I say all the time to people? I say to me the fact that, and give me 1 second. Let me pull my garage down. No, stay right here with me, y'all. I'm just gonna come right back to the camera because I got I got neighbors and
Okay.
stuff. I got neighbors that's
Yeah.
Hispanic and stuff like that, and I'm gonna talk to all of that in terms of. I just think that what I see whether it be the Hispanics, Asians, Indians, whites, and I'm kind of want to speak more so to like the newer people that come to this country, the Koreans and whether it be the Samoans now, all of them. Even I'm hearing it now, even from the Puerto Ricans. It's like, man, it's like, oh, like to conspire to get together to be able to kick black people down. Because since we at the bottom, and these people might have been at the bottom of their countries, and that's why they came here as refugees and all like that. They come over here, but since we are at the bottom, y'all can conspire and group them together. So yeah, let's keep them at the bottom and help keep us at the bottom, or help kick or thumb their nose at. You just got here yesterday, yet you thumbing your nose at us already, and you here and ain't doing no better than us. So I said all that to say, as I think, because I think a lot of people are really jealous of us, and because I've been, I think about it a lot. Like, what is wrong? Like, we didn't take the Alamo from them. We didn't do nothing to them. Why are they acting like they mad at us? Because we shining, or because we doing hip hop, or because we got this, or because we make a little dance move, or whatever our little shine is that we have. It seems like the people want to come in and not only copy it, take it, steal it, and claim it for their own. And so my final analysis on it is, I say, and I say it concisely, is that I think that everybody knows something else about us that we don't know about ourselves. I just kind of think that that they know that we are special people, and we know that we can dance, and we know that we might be able to dribble, or catch a football, or but it's still something about us innately. Because I mean, we could go all the way back to, like you said, Jacory, we've read, we know all the scientists, all the stuff that we've contributed to this civilization. It's something about us that they know that we don't see like we know. This has been beaten out of us. It's been taken from us. We don't believe it. But it's something that they know deep down in them, because like I said, they all kind of conspire to say, you know what, no, no, no. So, Beyonce can't have all the shine. I don't even know who the fuck Taylor Swift is. But now I'm hearing about Taylor Swift all the goddamn time. I'm like, I don't care about Beyonce or this one or that. But I'm like, damn, who is this white chick? They keep talking about her every Sunday, every game, every newscast, every whatever you turn it on. I'm like, damn, why they got her name all the way? So I say again, it's something about us that they constantly competing. You know what I mean? Constantly trying to say, okay, well, y'all got Mike Jack, then we got this one, and we got that one. Now they said Bad Bunny now is the king of pop. I don't know who the hell Bad Bunny is, dog. I mean, I know the name, but I wouldn't know no song. I wouldn't know him if I saw him. If he walked up the garage, I wouldn't even know who he is. Like, who is you? So I just think that something about us. That's how I sum it up, is that they know something about us that we don't know about ourselves, in terms of our specialness, in terms of our godlike status.
I'm gonna say something, man, and I might step on toes, but this is just how I see it, man. When we as a Black community, every time for a long time that we went out and marched and died and got sprayed and dog sicked on us, for equality.
And we did that for everybody too, Spoke. Not just for Black people. We did it for everybody.
And we
because
did it for
everybody benefits from
everybody.
it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in some cases, man, the worst thing you can do, man, is kind of meet your heroes. But in this case, man, the worst thing that you can, that other cultures, can do is kind of associate themselves with us. I mean, there is, guilt by association or persecution by association is a real thing, man. So, that distance that they might feel the need to have when, from us when they get here, they might see it as necessary.
Of course, because the target is on our backs. The target is on our back, and like I said, but what I see is that they all kind of conspire or group together and say, oh yeah, let's keep it on their backs. Let's keep it on there, because again, we don't want it on our backs. And so this is some of the problems that you see played out by those who are in charge to kind of keep the rivalry or the disdain or the hatred kind of going between the Blacks and the whites. Because again, like right now, you see it, and and I don't want to venture too far off into it, but with this whole thing that's going on overseas, we ain't got nothing to do with it. But then they said, well, where's the Black voice on it? Where y'all standing at on it? And y'all not with us, we gonna remember this. We gonna remember that y'all, because we marched with y'all in the 60s. We went on freedom rides. We did all this with y'all. And and it's like, what do we have to do with that all the way over there? So again, it's like it's constantly trying to pull us in. And like I said, they use us a bit of a batting ram. You know what I mean? To get us to fight and do all that, while other groups can prosper, but don't have to be in the forefront of the hate. I mean, because again, the hate wasn't only just for the African American or the Blacks. The hate was for all other groups as well. It's just that we the face of it. We the brunt of it. You the one that you can really see. You know what I mean? Because again, if it's somebody else, like maybe Hispanic or somebody else running down the street who just robbed and steal, you might not be able to identify him as well if it's you and me. It's oh no, it was his black ass. That's easy. You know what I mean? So that's what you kind of see. You know what I mean? That's what you kind of see.
Okay.
But
Well, let me just, and I'll let you close it off, Kevin. But let me just say this: what just the fact that you said, and this is the God's honest truth, is we ended up marching for everyone, because that's what everyone, even though you may not be a minority, but I'm not going into that, it's basing themselves off of why we marched. Who benefited the most from the NAACP? I'm just throwing that question out there so you guys can go out there and research it.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I would change is the understanding of who we are as a community. Jaquari and Kevin, you guys laid it down like the foundation of what it is. But what I would change is understanding who we are. Because to understand is to love or not love. So if you're not going to love who you are as a black man or woman, a black woman, right? At least understand why you don't. If you are to love who you are and love your community, understand why you love your community. I mean, that's just me on what I would think would go a long way in what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay,
It will.
Jaquari and Cam, real quick, tie it in. Thank you, Cam, for coming on, brother. You did a fantastic job like we knew you would.
I appreciate
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
No
Appreciate
doubt.
that.
No
I
doubt.
appreciate
Because
that.
you have that kind of energy, you have that kind of personality. Jaquari, Cam, bring us on home, man. Then we're going to end this episode.
Yes, sir. Oh, you want to
Cuz,
smoke or what?
yeah, just real quick, Kev. Hey, man, cuz I love you, brother, man. You were definitely a strong influence, man, in the early part of my life, man. It turned me on to so many things that I still hold close to me, hold close to my heart and everything, man. Your influence was amazing. I thank you for your time. As I said, brother, I love you.
Hey, man, our feelings mutual, man. Like I said, this was I had a great time. These hours that flew by. I don't know, it's already been 2 hours already, man, and it's going by so fast, man. And I miss y'all and love y'all dearly, and this means a lot. And Corey, I say, yeah, we go all the way back because, like I said, they was gone. It was just me and you left in the house now, so we had a chance. And then you was your mama's baby, so like I said, it took a little finessing on my side. You know what I mean? And I'm also very, very proud of you to hear, because I'll come back and then Ja'Cory gone. He at school. He doing it. I said, what? Went on and got your degrees and all this other good stuff, man.
Took a
So
while.
very,
Took a
very,
while,
very
but yeah,
proud. I'm very proud of you. I mean, like I said,
appreciate it,
because
bro.
if she could have swallowed you under and you didn't let it, I know. First of all, I know. I imagine you weren't gonna let that happen. You know what I mean? But still, sometimes shit happens. You know what I mean? And thank God for the family. You know what I mean? And Keith, man, I really enjoyed myself. It's great. And like I said, we just got to do better as a people, man. The media thing that you spoke about is very, very important, Keith, in terms of that question that you and or that little debate that you and your partner was having, because it is the media. You know what I mean? I watch a lot of court TV and I see all kind of murders and stuff. I say, and I watch, first of all, I watch a lot of news. So I'm watching CNN, then I flip over to court TV and I'm like, all these people going crazy doing all this kind of stuff, and you don't hear about it on the television. And anytime you do hear about crime, they show our face. So they want to criminalize us in our face, but that's just the media, and we have to understand those who are in control of the media. Like I said, they want to use that as a battering ram to kind of keep the light off of them by keeping shining on us in terms of other bad stuff. So to that point, if it was somebody who did a murder and it was a black person, they'll show the face. Now it was the same thing that happened. We know in the white neighborhood, say in Ann Arbor, and all they would show is the crime scene. I mean, the yellow tape, and the police. They don't show the face, even though we know who did it. You know what I mean? But so to keep that image of us, so that people are automatically afraid. And Jaquari, like you said, you got a gun put out on you by our own kind. That's unfortunate. Like I said, because you're right, we do hurt each other, and that is, again, that's due to proximity, and also due to the fact that it don't get punished the same. So if I do something to you, I may or may not get, I may or may get punished, may or may not get punished, should I say. But if I do something to them, we know you're going to get punished. Ask Jonathan Majors. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave it to him just like that. Charlie Sheen and all these other guys in Hollywood. The other guy, Robert Downey Jr., he's the Iron Man and all this stuff, all this bad stuff they've done. And, so that's it crystallized for us over and over again. So Mom and them taught us that we'd have to do it better, and that's still true to this very day. So that's a lesson we have to still continue to teach our children. It hasn't changed, and they try to dial it back if they could. But like some young people say, "Fuck out of here with that shit. Fuck out of here with that shit, dog. We ain't never going back to that shit. You crazy, dog." And that's what you like about these young people, because they feel it. You know what I'm saying? They ready. They roll up their sleeves, and even though they're disconnected and they disrespect, hey, some of them cats, they're not scared like how we were scared. You know what I mean? Or like our daddies then were scared. They don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? They don't. They ain't scared to die. They ain't scared to kill. They just misdirected. That's all.
I agree.
Yeah, so man. But we're gonna do better. We getting better. I want to see the family get together, y'all. Let's get a family reunion, y'all. Come on, y'all, please. My daddy getting old.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm with it, man. You know, whenever.
I'm with it.
Shit, I ain't been back home, and I don't know, probably about, I think like 2 years. So
Yeah.
I'm due for a trip back.
Yeah, let's get on up there, y'all. Let's make it happen. I mean, even if it's in the backyard, whatever we gotta do, even if it's over Tina Johnson's house. I already put you out there, Tina. If it's over, ain't doing it to Gene's house, so let's just do it. Ain't doing it to Gene. Got a beautiful what they call that stuff with the wood in the back, in the back thing of your yard.
Patio.
Yeah, that patio thing. She had a beautiful one because I got a
Yeah.
picture. I see it on my picture frame all the time. It is beautiful. Let's all just congregate at her house and make it happen. But yeah, man, I love y'all, man. It's good to and Keith, man. Invite me back again one time soon, man. Before sometimes next year, I'm gonna come back and get back on with y'all.
Kev, look, hey man, our once a person has been on our podcast, man, your position is automatically recurring, man. If you got anything that you want to talk about, hook up with Keith, man. Let us know. If you got something, bring Jamar. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Bring your people,
definitely.
man. That's what this podcast is about, man. It's about this, man. It's us sitting around rapping and and kicking it and then enlightening each other on shit. You know what I'm saying? So
That's right. That's right.
absolutely, man. Don't sit around and wait. If you
Okay,
got
definitely.
if you got something you want to you want to rap on, please let him know.
Definitely.
Hey,
I
hey,
will,
hey,
man. I definitely
hey,
will.
hey, Kevin, just listen. Next time you come on, it's gonna be you, Jamar, and Leslie, and that's gonna
Okay.
be that's gonna be a crazy one.
Oh yeah.
We gonna love that one.
Because
You know what
them
I'm saying?
all strong perspectives, and they all pulling each and every way. Like I was trying to turn it to my big brothers. So, I can't wait. And even if he heard me say that, that'd be controversial. Just for him to hear saying that, that's gonna
Yeah,
start a whole other conversation. So
yeah,
that
yeah,
that'd
yeah,
be great, man. That'd be great. I can't wait, y'all. I can't wait.
yeah,
And to you, cousin Malika, we love you too, baby. And I'm glad you was out there listening and chiming in. So yeah, man.
yeah, yeah,
We'll
yeah.
do. Peace and blessings to y'all. Everybody enjoy their family. Everybody enjoy the holidays, man. And everybody stay safe out here. I love y'all.
I love you too,
All
brother.
right,
All right,
hey,
well.
stay on, Cav. Stay on after we go offline. This is
Okay,
Strong
for sure.
Perspective Podcast. And Julio, shout out to you, brother. Thanks for your comments. This strong. Look, make sure you go to our YouTube channel, man. We trying to big our thing up, man. If you hear this, yeah, share this with your people. Go like it. Go like, share, and subscribe to our situation, man. Because we want to reach everybody that we can. We appreciate you guys, and great job, man. And happy holidays to everybody, man. Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, and everything. Go ahead, Jaquan.
Brother Damon, get better, brother.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, cousin.
I've been there, man. And, we're gonna get right.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
man.
And Damon usually participate a little bit more, but he's getting over something. But yeah, get better, brother. All right.
Definitely.
This is
All
strong.
right.
This is Strong Perspective Podcast. Peace.
Peace.